Hello everyone. This is the fourth part of the video on thinkers, beliefs and buildings, the cultural developments that happened between 600 BCE to 600 CE. In the last video we have seen about stupas, the structure of stupas and other monuments that were constructed during those days. In this video, we will study growth of Puranic Hinduism, Vaishnavism, Shaivism, growth of temple architecture, problems faced by the European scholars while studying the sculptures. First, we study about Puranic Hinduism. Vaishnavism is a form of Hinduism within which Vishnu was worshipped as the principal deity. According to Vaishnavism, there are 10 avatars of Vishnu. Avatars were forms that the deity was believed to have assumed in order to save the world whenever the world was threatened by evil forces. Different avatars were popular in different parts of the country. Shaivism. Puranas contained stories about gods and goddesses. They were written in simple Sanskrit and were meant to be read aloud to everybody. Puranas evolved through interaction amongst people priests, merchants and ordinary men and women who traveled from place to place sharing ideas and beliefs. For example, Vasudeva Krishna was an important deity in the Mathura region. Over centuries, his worship spread to other parts of the country as well. Now, let us study about the growth of temple architecture during this period. When the stupas at sites such as Sanchi were taking their present, at the same time, the earliest temples to house images of gods and goddesses were also being built at different parts of India. The early temple was a small square room called the Garbhagriha with a single doorway for the worshipper to enter and offer worship to the image. Gradually, a tall structure known as Shikara was built over the central shrine. Temple walls were often decorated with a lot of sculptures. There were assembly halls, huge walls, gateways, and arrangements for supplying water made the later temples far more elaborate, and huge temple complexes were constructed by the kings also to show their glory and grandeur. One of the unique features of early temples was that some of these were hollowed out of huge rocks as artificial caves. An amazing example of the carving out of an entire temple from a cave is that of Kailasnath temple at Ellora, Maharashtra. Now let us study some of the problems faced by European scholars while studying the sculptures that are found at different places in India. Firstly, the European scholars were not familiar with the local traditions and beliefs, so they were not able to understand what the sculptors exactly meant. They were horrified by the images of half human and half animal figures that are made on the rocks and temples. They considered the Indian sculptures inferior to that of European sculptures, with which they were very familiar. This was because they compared the Indian sculpture to the images of Greece and other European countries. Secondly, the art historians used textual traditions to understand the meaning of sculptures. While this is a better strategy than comparing the images found in India with that of Greece, but it was not always easy to use because the Europeans were not knowing Sanskrit and other Indian languages and the meaning of the words which are inscribed. For example, to identify the sculpture along a huge rock in Mahabalipuram, art historians have to search through the Puranas because the paintings of Mahabalipuram rocks are from the Puranas.